Hello, welcome back to the breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you are watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got a breaking news report coming out from Ukraine to share with all of you, and I've got a major update coming out from these talks between U.S. and Ukrainian delegation teams that have met today in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Huge news report, guys. Take a look at your screen here. Ukraine agrees to 30-day immediate ceasefire proposal by the United States. Ukraine agreed on Tuesday to an immediate 30-day ceasefire negotiated by the United States if Russia accepts the plan, officials said. Marco Rubio, who is the U.S. Secretary of State, said Ukraine is ready to start talking and stop shooting. Okay, this is very big, guys, and apparently part of this proposal from the U.S. to Ukraine was if Ukraine accepted a 30-day ceasefire, the U.S. would lift their freeze on military aid and also shared intelligence. So effective immediately because Ukraine has accepted this 30-day ceasefire agreement. Looks like Ukraine is now going to start receiving U.S. aid shipments and also continued shared intelligence. Okay, so that is very, very big news today. And now we're going to have to wait to see what Russia says. We had Marco Rubio, the U.S. Secretary of State, again. That's him, by the way, in the red tie on the left side of your screen. He also came out and now said that they're going to be presenting this proposal of a 30-day ceasefire to Russia also, and he said that it's that the ball is now in Russia's court, so it's up to them to accept this ceasefire and have a 30-day temporary ceasefire where there will be no fighting. And hopefully, Ukraine and Russia can begin negotiations to try to end this war. So, this is very big. And also, in my opinion, this is going to expose whether Russia is actually willing to stop the fighting or not. We'll have to see what they say over the next couple days whenever this gets presented to them. So, let's go ahead and jump into this, guys. I'm going to show you guys this report real quick from CBS News. Ukraine willing to accept 30-day ceasefire with Russia as the U.S. lifts freeze on aid and intelligence. It's just coming out today, March 11th, 2025. And it says here, the U.S. and Ukraine said Kyiv would accept a 30-day ceasefire with Russia after talks in Saudi Arabia on Tuesday, with Washington pledging to immediately lift a freeze on intelligence sharing and military aid to Ukraine. Ukraine expressed readiness to accept the U.S. proposal to enact an immediate interim 30-day ceasefire, which can be extended by mutual agreement of the parties, and which is subject to acceptance and concurrent implementation by the Russian Federation. The U.S. and Ukraine said in a joint statement released by the State Department, the United States will communicate to Russia that Russian reciprocity is the key to achieving peace. The agreement came after more than 8 hours of negotiations between Ukrainian officials and a U.S. delegation led by Secretary of State Marco Rubio in the Saudi city of Jeddah. The statement said the U.S. will immediately lift the pause on intelligence sharing and resume security assistance to Ukraine. Both were frozen in the wake of an explosive meeting between Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky and President Trump at the White House on February 28th. Ukraine has been supported by the U.S. and other Western allies in its fight against Russia since Moscow launched a full-scale invasion in 2022, and the move to cut off aid left Kyiv at a disadvantage and European allies scrambling. So here's a photo of that meeting today. We have the U.S. delegation on this side of the table and the Ukrainian delegation on the other side, okay? And it says here whether Russia will support a ceasefire remains to be seen. Steve Witkoff, Mr. Trump's Middle East envoy, will be traveling to the country in the coming days, according to a person familiar with the planning. Witkoff met with Russian President Vladimir Putin for more than 3 hours in February. And it also says here in a press briefing following the meeting, Rubio said the ball is now in Russia's court. We'll take this offer now to the Russians, and we hope that they'll say yes to peace, Rubio said. The president's objective here is, number one, above everything else, he wants the war to end. And I think today Ukraine has taken a concrete step in that regard, and we hope that Russians will reciprocate. The statement from the U.S. and Ukraine said they would each name their negotiating teams and immediately begin negotiations toward an enduring peace that provides for Ukraine's long-term security. It also said Mr. Trump and Zelensky would conclude as soon as possible a comprehensive agreement for developing Ukraine's critical mineral resources to expand Ukraine's economy and guarantee Ukraine's long-term prosperity and security. Washington has been pushing Kyiv to sign a deal which would grant the U.S. access to its mineral reserves, said, and Zelensky indicated his readiness to sign a deal ahead of the talks. Okay, so looks like in terms of the mineral deal as well, looks like that will be moving forward. So hopefully we'll be seeing Ukraine and America signing some sort of critical minerals reserve deal between the two nations, and hopefully that will include some security guarantees for Ukraine, because we did hear a lot from Volodymyr Zelensky in the past that that was a major reason why they weren't ready to sign it yet, is because they wanted some major security guarantees coming from the United States in order to sign this. So Ukraine basically wants to get something out of giving up a good majority of their resources, maybe even control of some of their ports. Not really sure how that deal is going to turn out yet, but this is absolutely a very massive update today, guys, and probably one of the biggest updates throughout this entire war. I mean, after covering this war here on YouTube over the last year, this is a very big move by Ukraine, and it really just comes down to Russia. Is Russia going to accept this deal? Are they going to accept a 30-day ceasefire, at least bare minimum for right now, so Ukraine and Russia can start negotiating? We know that Russia has a lot of crazy demands right now, and Ukraine may not be open to a lot of their demands. So I'm curious to see how, once they actually start negotiating directly with each other, how that's going to work out, because both sides just have incredible disputes with each other. And that's also making it difficult to end this war. So let's see what happens here, guys. I'm going to wait for more information coming out from these talks, but this is a very big thing that happened today during the talks between the U.S. and Ukrainian delegations to try to end this war. So let me know what you guys think about all these details down in the comment section. That's going to be it for today's update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless. And we'll see you in the next one.